Thank you, Paul, for a very heartfelt, candid and open presentation around where we are with skills. I'd like to introduce our next speaker, Becks Green. Becks is the NSIGN Ships Engineering Team Lead. As a bit of background, Becks worked with the MOD, Defence Equipment and Support Service, since 2011, covering several roles and professions within the land and ships environment. Becks spent several years leading projects and engineering teams in the Weapons Operating Centre before taking on a portfolio business strategy role and finally settling as the team leader for the Naval Support Integrated Global Network, or NSIGN, as we like to abbreviate to, in January 23. She's a chartered engineer, but her experience in programme and project management is where her passion really lies. I'd like to introduce Becks to the screen. Thank you very much.
Hello all. So I didn't trip up the stairs, so that's the first tick in the box, effectively. I've also got a timer of half an hour. I won't be speaking for that long, I promise. Okay, so I'm Becks Green. I am the NSIGN team leader. Thank you very much for the introduction there. And I think the key thing I want to say first is thank you very much for the NSO for letting us come today to continue with our market engagement, effectively. So what is NSIGN? So NSIGN is a much larger programme. It covers ships, submarine engineering and maintenance, and also the associated naval-based services with that. Today, this presentation is about the ship's engineering project, to which we've got the team here to support and answer any questions that arise. The ship's engineering project is not about one massive contract. It's about a network of contracts and looking across the scope of commercially supported shipping, complex warships, and the associated maintenance and repair of those as we go forwards. Some of you may have already watched a video which we released earlier this week. And I want to talk about how we're going to take that forwards effectively. So there won't be any new information in this presentation. So, and if you want to see those videos, they're rolling outside on our screens in the foyer. These are all of the contracts which we're considering as part of NSIGN Ships Engineering. That doesn't mean we're replacing them all. It's what we're looking at as an ecosystem to how we can deliver ships engineering in the future effectively. It's a real opportunity for us to understand how we can use commercial best practice to resiliently deliver safe, capable and available ships around the world. So why do we need to change? We need to have an increased global presence. We need to support new and emergent capabilities, and we need to ensure there's an increase in availability and resilience. We have done an internal assessment against a number of options, and ultimately are looking at taking forward the expand option going forwards as preferred. So what does expand mean? Expand means a strong UK engineering core. Naval bases optimised to deliver complex integration and activity, and also design professional services focused around our sovereign expertise. We will need to use alternative UK yards to deliver non-complex work. We will expand the use of pass-through costs, and we will look at how we use commercial yards for less complex work. Finally, how we really need to change. A ship management agent for overseas delivery, engineering and spares is kind of the model that we're currently looking at to use commercial and civil best practice. We will ensure that we continue the use of MOD superintendents to have accountability and the ability to change things with as little governance as possible that is safe to do so. MOD commercial discipline to enable operational choice needs to improve, and that is all part of how we want to change this ecosystem. So what are we doing next? So we're in the concept phase. We need to develop this solution and make a marketable proposition, as well as do quantitative analysis to all of the options as how we move forward. And that's where we want help in our market engagement effectively. So to start with, we developed a few principles as to how we go through this. Not expecting you to read all these are in the video as well, but I just want to pull out a few which I think are really important and with our market engagement. So a civil maritime approach to maintenance and repair for asset management will be, sorry, let me try again. Civil maintenance approach to ship maintenance and repair for asset management will be the default. So that doesn't mean that we're going to go completely to that model, but it means we want to use best practice where the availability is much higher than it is currently in the defence sector. And that we need to understand the risk associated with that, and also how we can adapt that, and the terms and conditions and the barriers which defence faces with appealing to that market. Commercial maritime COTS equipment will follow a commercial maritime support model. That is quicker availability to spares where we deem necessary, where we deem we can do that. Effectively, at the moment, there is a significant amount of layers to getting spares to our ships sometimes, and we want to try and reduce that and ensure that we can get the spares to the people on the ships as quickly as possible. We'll improve the configuration and quality of support data to provide clearer, more efficient and marketable demand signals. This is a really difficult one, and it's not going to be a short journey. We need to understand what is a marketable demand signal. We need to incentivise that in contracts going forwards so that we can understand how we get to a point to effectively, our next point, progressively increase competitive tendering for repair and maintenance of surface ships. We want to bring competition into ship maintenance more if we can. However, we want to do that safely, and we want to do it progressively. So that's where hopefully we can have the market engagement to support that. Now, those are the key ones that we kind of want to take through market engagement and talk about. However, what I would say is, if you've been in any other conversations with me, you would know that I would always bring up one of the other points, which is effectively solutions which incorporate environmental sustainability, champion diversity and inclusion, and drive social value. It's really clear for all of us as a team in NSIGN that they are not just targets, but what we really want to be forward-leaning in as well. So we want to come up with innovative ways in which we can develop those into contracts in the future so that we can support those areas. So our contracting landscape is complex at current. There are lots of different contracts all trying to deliver services. We want to devise an operating model and enterprise that works for all. We plan to do this by breaking it down effectively into 3 areas: UK engineering delivery, design professional services, and ship management. UK engineering delivery typically covers implementation of work packages at our HM naval bases, such as under FMSP, under our complex warships, and they become more optionalised for complex work, and does not include engineering delivery at other UK global yards. These will be delivered through a ship management service. Design professional services is the ability to tap into design houses and ship design originators outside standard obsolescence of commercially available equipments. And then finally, ship managers, which if I go backwards, sorry, I've got this. Ship managers, this is what we kind of think as at the current is what our ship managers will look like. So they will be the head, not the hands. They will act as a broker, not a prime at the moment, although we're discussing whether that's the best option or not. The ship management agent will utilise their supply chains for provision of market common spares, bringing in the principles that we brought out previously. The ship management agent utilises their supply chains for globally unrestricted design professional services. So when we talked about design professional services, something we're looking at the moment, we're breaking that down into 3 buckets, whether they are standard obsolescence items or whether they're more complex work, and we need to understand which bits we can fall under which areas to, again, make it as simple as possible. The ship management agent uses its global engineering network for delivery. So that is effectively ensuring that we get the best price, the best value for money, I should say more than best price, the best value for money as we go into global shipyards. Now, if I just skip back through this, sorry. Okay, so this is what I call the support landscape looking forwards. Now, NSIGN is not going to be a big bang. This is our sort of landscape of opportunity and how we're looking at batching up our work going forwards. You can see there that FMSP ships has a number of phased options to get us into a competed space for ship management model. Now, we are devising what those conditions are at the moment, whether it's acceptable to take the risk associated with those, and that is why there is no time associated with it. It's going to be conditions-based. There's also the CSS cluster contracts, which we need to devise what the option for NSIGN is going forwards, and then future capabilities that go into that. So NSIGN as a whole is not a one big bang as of 2028. It is going to be a phased approach as we move forwards, how we can best deliver that. I think the key thing for us here is to understand from the market what conditions we would need to set to be marketable, how a ship management model or a different model would work for defence and be attractive to the market, and what groupings of platforms would work within that as well. We need to be as innovative as possible at the same time as fitting into a sort of commercial model. And the key thing that I probably haven't brought out is the resilience associated with that as well. So yes, we talked about availability, we talked about going into commercial model, but at the same time, we need to be able to transition to warfight, which will mean that there's a risk-based assessment against each and every one of these contracts going forwards. And it will be a network of contracts, not one single one. So finally, as I mentioned, we've jumped into our second market engagement phase. Some of you may have been part of our previous ones at DSEI and London International Shipping Week. We took all of the information from that, we built it into our decision around our preferred option, and now we want to talk more tactically about what will work and what won't. No decision has been made yet, and this is a perfect opportunity for us to adapt so that we can deliver a future model which works for both for industry and for defence. It's quite a small atrium downstairs, so you'll see our pod there, and there's a number of the team who are here to chat around NSIGN as we go forwards. We released an RFI in July 24, and there's a QR code there to access that, as well as award portal registration. And if you Google DENS NSIGN, you'll find the videos as well, because there's a website now that we've got on the DENS website all about NSIGN as well. That's all from me today, and I will obviously be part of the panel session, but please come and chat to me or a member of the team at any of the breaks. Thank you.